Kim, your host and producer of Toddlers to Teens Parent TV Show. And I'm here today with Janet Beckers, founder of Wonderful Web Women and busy mum to 2 children, Clancy 12 and Phoebe 13. Janet won Marketer of the Year in 2009, and she's here today to talk to us about how to achieve a healthy work-life balance for your family and your business. So, Janet, could you please, well, first of all, thanks for joining us.
Hi, it's great to be here. Very exciting.
I'd just like if you could explain to our viewers, Janet, what Wonderful Web Women is all about.
Yeah, sure. Well, Wonderful Web Women has started as and will always be about finding role models, finding women who have created really successful businesses using online, so using the internet as either their entire business model or as part of getting their message out there. So, you know, it's my hope is that by people coming along and being part of Wonderful Web Women, they'll find somebody, a mentor who they can really click with. And then I provide the framework, you know, to get them to take action and keep them up to date. And, yeah, so it's very much a community and finding support, finding the right people, because we all click with different people.
Yeah, definitely. Well, you've been a wonderful role model and mentor and business coach for me, Janet, so I can highly recommend you to anybody looking at getting their business online. So, Janet, you run a successful online and offline business, and you have managed to create a happy balance with your family and your work. So can you give our viewers some tips on how they can create this, because it's something that we're all looking and trying to achieve?
Yeah, well, I guess the first thing I'd like to address is this idea about balance and always having the perfect balance, because, you know, I think the concept that you can always have a perfect balance between business and your family and your relationships, it's impossible, absolutely impossible, I think. And all it does is it leads to feeling of guilt that, I'm just not doing it all right. And I think a better way to look at it is to really look at the different things that are important and know that on a day-to-day basis it may not be balanced, and that's okay. But on the overall thing, when you look at, you know, how much time or how much mind space you're spending on each of those different parts, those different roles you have, that there is a balance to it. So, you know, there will be times when I know that there are things happening in my family that I have to give, you know, a lot of focus on them, you know, things that may be happening with the children. And I just accept that at those times, well, you know, I'm just not going to focus as much on the business. I still am, but not as much. And the other times, if I've got a big project coming up, like the workshop that I recently ran that you went to, you know, I was able to say to the kids and my husband, look, you know, there's something big coming up. I'm going to be really focusing on it a lot, but it's going to finish on this date.
Yeah.
So if you can support me until this date, then I promise that I'm going to be spending more of my time focusing over there onto you. So just that's important to say it's going to have an end date and stick by it as well.
Yeah.
I think that was a big thing I struggled with at the beginning. Was really, for me, time management was more about guilt management than anything else, because, you know, if you've got a business and you've got family and you've got, you know, people in your life who you love, we are usually pretty good at being able to balance the whole lot. The thing we need to balance is our feelings of guilt over it all. And that's probably the biggest thing is the guilt management than the time management.
Yeah. That's a good point. I know that when I went to the workshop, you mentioned to us about your non-negotiables. And I actually hadn't really thought about that before I'd gone into business. I've always thought, well, you manage your family and you go out to work and do what you can, and your family's sort of just got to fit around your work. And that's how most work models are, aren't they? So,
yeah.
I mean, that's the beauty of working for yourself. But when someone's first setting up their business, if they do what you tell people to do, which is really work out your non-negotiables, work out what your values are, and then build your business up around that, then they're much more likely to succeed and have that healthy work-life balance.
Oh, absolutely. And, I mean, to explain what non-negotiables are is, you know, you've got to think about if you're starting a business, why are you having the business anyway? Usually it's because you want to have more time with your friends, your family, you want to have freedom, you want to have control, all those sorts of things. So, but a lot of people end up getting sucked into, you know, always feeling as though they've got to be there for everything in their business and don't achieve what they were in business to start with. And so really thinking about why is it I'm in business. So for me, you know, one of the main things that I'm in business for is I want to be there for my kids. You know, I want to be there before school and after school. I want to be there for most weekends to be able to do things for them. And I really want to go on holidays with them while they'll still be seen with me.
Yeah.
And so, you know, one of the things that I do is I say, okay, well, my non-negotiables are that I'm not going to set up a business model that means that I can't be there of an afternoon for the kids. Or I'm not going to be, as an example, I get invited a lot to present at conferences, and even though I love it, I get quite energised by being around that environment. I won't do more than one a month because I don't want to be away from my family, because it's never for one day. It's usually a few days, there's travel. I don't want to be away from them for that long. So it just means that I just knock things back. But at the same time, it means when I'm planning things that I'm going to do in my business, I'll go, okay, well, if I approach the same problem and I decide I'm going to solve it by, you know, providing services that are done in this way, well, yep, they're going to meet my non-negotiables. And I guess around that non-negotiables is another concept of the Virgin Diary. Do you want me to tell you about the Virgin Diary? It's a really timely one for this time of the year, when we're coming close to the end of the year.
Yeah.
And, you know, when you get your brand new diary, so it's, you know, for here it would be, you know, 2011, you open it up and there's nothing on it there. It hasn't been touched yet. So a friend of mine, Anne Rolfe, introduced me to this idea, and she calls it the Virgin Diary because it's totally nothing's been in there yet.
Yeah.
The absolute very first thing you do, for me, because I've got school-age children,
Yes.
I go through and I look when the school holidays are and I blank them out. And I look for when there are things that are coming up that I know that are going to be important things around birthdays or other sorts of things, and I blank them out. So I know when I'm planning anything for my business, those ones there, I can't do anything in those times because they've already been blanked out in my diary.
Yeah.
And it's incredibly liberating to know, well, oops, sorry, I can't actually book that workshop or that, coaching call with a client in those particular times because it's already been blanked out.
Yeah. Well, great idea. I just bought my 2011 diary the other day because I actually did have one appointment that I put into it. But I really love that idea of blanking out that sort of thing. And I guess you could probably put in there, you know, that some special time with your partner as well. You know, if that's.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Because they're, you know, for a lot of us, that's why we succeed in our business, because we've got that support, and I know you do, Janet, with Doug, and very lucky to have that. So not everybody does have that, but, you know, with what you teach in Wonderful Web Women, all the resources in your website can educate women, whether they are on their own or whether they do have a partner, on how to succeed in an online business, because I don't know many mothers who don't want to be at home with their kids while they're little, you know. Yes, some people do need that outlet of work, and that's what we're doing. We're having that balance of work and family. But can you just share with our viewers where people who need some education on, you know, how they can start an online business and you know, achieve this healthy work-life and balance, where do they go to get some information like this?
Well, probably the best place to start is Wonderful Web Women, and if you've got a link there, I'd appreciate if people would click on on your link, so I know that how we were introduced.
Yep.
And with Wonderful Web Women, I've made it so that if you've got no budget at all to start with, that if you come to Wonderful Web Women, you can come along to the monthly teleclasses I do, which just means that you'll get a link. You can go and click on your website on a web page, and you can listen live and ask questions, and that's absolutely free, and that's with the most successful women in the world. And, you know, so it allows you to learn there, and you've also got, you know, there's resources there to help you get started online that are all free. And then the next level, when you're ready that, okay, you know, I really want to start building up this side of my business, or I want to start this part of my business, is we have a membership which is just a low cost per month, and that gives you access to an amazing amount of resources. So, you know, every single interview I've done in the last 3 years, and how-to videos, and also some good projects. I'm really into not just giving people knowledge on what to do. I really want to give them opportunities to take some action.
Yeah, definitely.
Because a lot of times we can just get stuck in learning, and, you know, I've got to know everything before I start. So I really like to just give people an opportunity to just do something, but I'll help you to do that. I'll provide the opportunity. So, for example, we've got, I'll be launching next month our 4th collaborative ebook, where people who are members of our community can actually, you know, they can actually become an author with my help. So, yeah, and it's worked really effectively. We've done 3 already, and they've been just spread throughout the internet. Thousands and thousands have been downloaded. So.
Yeah, excellent.
Yeah, so that's the best place to go.
Yeah, and you've also got Wonderful Web Women Radio too?
Yeah, well, Wonderful Web Radio, which just been launched, and the nice part about that, I'm very excited because we have, it's in 2 sections. It's every Wednesday for Australia, every Tuesday evening for the US. Yes, that's the right way around. So it just goes for half an hour, and you've got the first part is actually an interview with a inspiring, you know, successful woman, and then an interview with an inspiring woman who has been learning from our community and applying things. And I know, Melissa, you've been one of our rising stars, and for a lot of people, that can help people even more than listening to the people who've already done it, is to hear people who are doing things now.
Yeah.
Because it's just sort of like, oh, well, she's like me. So,
yeah.
Look, you put Wonderful Web anything and you're going to find me. Wonderful Web World is our new portal site. Wonderful Web Seminars, Wonderful Web Video.
Yeah.
Everything, you can put it on there. Yeah.
Excellent. All right. Well, that's really great information. Thank you so much for joining us, Janet. And if you'd like more information, we'll put up Janet's details on how to get to her site and get some great resources. So thanks, Janet, for joining us. And thanks, everybody. We'll see you next time. Bye for now.
Bye, everybody.